Well, I'm pleased that we're back in the win column. Sometimes when you go through a stretch, you lose 3 or 4 and 2 in a row. You just want to find a way to win a game, and thought we had that kind of a mentality tonight, just to figure out a way to win a game. So that's number one thing, and that's a characteristic of a team, right? You gotta. That doesn't mean you're going to win every night, but winning is a characteristic and a mentality to win. That's really important, and we're still developing that, but step in the right direction tonight. I thought the ball really moved early. That's probably the most fluid we've looked offensively in a long, long time. And I think there's been some times this year that you look down and you have 20 assists, and I've been pleased with our offense, but you still feel like maybe we could get higher quality shots. We just shot it really well. Tonight I thought especially early in the game, we created a higher quality shot. And I thought that was because we executed better, shared the ball better, made the right play. I thought it was fueled early by some live ball defensive stops. I did like us defensively to start the game. I didn't love us defensively for 40 minutes. We have to get back to the way that I know we can defend defensively. And I'll give Wichita credit because they're a bear to defend, and Udiese's a bear in the post, and gosh, ETN. I mean, and you keep going down the list. Everybody on their roster can really score the basketball, so you got to give them credit. But I think we can be more engaged defensively for 40 minutes, even though there were some better stretches tonight. But you score 85, guys, you better freaking win. And we were really good offensively at times tonight.
Mason talked about at halftime, after they kind of went on that run and cut the lead, that you were still pretty calm and even keeled. How do you stay that way in a game where you get up really big to start and then they kind of push back? How do you keep that same even keeled temperament?
I don't know. I don't. It's an interesting observation and question. I don't really think about it. I think in coaching, and I always felt this playing the game, and you always want to get a team that buys into this. You just kind of want to lose yourself in the game, and like my focus in coaching is always about the next play and the next possession and whatever we can do to win that. And everybody goes, do you ever get nervous in games? You don't have time when you're a head coach to get nervous in games because you're always thinking about what's next. So maybe that's, and I'm just kind of blurting it out, right? I haven't thought deeply about that kind of a question, but maybe that's why as a head coach you don't get too riled up and down, because you're always thinking about what you got to do next to win the next possession.
You made your first 7 of 8 threes, I think, in the first 9 minutes, and then you only got 2 more the rest of the half attempts. Did they do something different to run you guys off the line, or was that just kind of how the offense flowed?
I'll have to check the tape on that, Chad. I'm not sure. I think of the last 4 or 5 games, they've performed the way we broke it down, at least, is the best defensive team in the American over this stretch. They're a heck of a defensive team, and I thought after the way we started the game, now they're scoring, so their defense is getting set, and it was not easy to come by quality shots there for a while, and they're scoring and they're getting stops, and that's how they climb back in. But I give their defense a lot of credit. It's been really good. It was really good when we played there, feels like years ago now, and it was really good in stretches tonight. And I thought we were really good early offensively and broke them down, but it's not that easy to break their defense down. There's probably, I'm sure if you ask those guys, they feel like they weren't ready defensively like they should have been, and I thought they kind of sprung and got to it, and it got a lot harder to score. And certainly some times in the second half, when they get their D set, boy, they're good and they're physical.
Chad asked this to Micah and Mason. I'm curious to hear your perspective. You guys have been so dependent offensively on David and Jeremiah. Was it good to see some balanced offense tonight?
Yeah, we have good offensive players, and I think for us to be who we need to be as a team, everybody has to be able to contribute. I think Dave's getting so much attention. His ability to get rid of the ball early and on time is really important to our offensive success as a team, and he did that at an incredibly elite level tonight. There was some plays he made in the first half, some reads he made that were just unbelievable, and I thought, again, that broke their defense down and gave guys an opportunity to make a play, and guys made some plays. So yeah, I think it's important other guys get involved, and give David a lot of credit tonight for getting other guys involved. And then Jeremiah takes so much attention as well, and he did a good job screening on the ball tonight, and I thought that freed some things up for us as well too.
You mentioned the defense from Wichita. We saw them after the late run switch to a 2-3 zone to start the second half. Did you see anything schematically to lead that because they only went through 2 possessions before the Micah drive layup and then the 3 by Jeremiah late in the early start the second half.
Did I see anything schematically? I heard you
So
say
switch
2
them
threes.
from the 2-3 zone back to man to start the second half. They tried to switch things up.
Yeah, they got the highlights up behind, and they were showing the highlight, and we didn't. One of the 5 times we didn't sprint back and gave up a dunk in transition. It felt like 5 at least. I started thinking about that. Boy, we got some work to do. So did they make any adjustments in the second half other than the couple possessions of 2-3 zone? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
They played some 2-2-1 back to 2-3, and then they played some 1-2-2 back to man. You know, obviously that soft pressure takes us out of the way that we run down the floor. You know, that you can argue that gets you out of whack a little bit. We practice against it all the time, so it shouldn't. Those were the adjustments that I saw them make. I didn't see anything else strategically different from the way they play all the time other than that. They played small a lot more, you know, which affected them on both ends of the floor. You know, they came out of the second half and they didn't start, what's his name?
Pleasant.
Pleasant.
Yeah, they didn't start Joe Pleasant, and you know they're playing Dennis and Ricky Council out there together at the 3-4 type, and it's kind of who's the 3, who's the 4. You don't really know, but they're playing those 2 guys together. So those are some adjustments that I saw them make with the soft pressure, and then late with the full court pressure, trapping the first pass inbounds, you know, in the zone press, trying to turn us over and get us sped up. And we got to do a better job of taking care of the ball and attacking that stuff. That's 2 games in a row we've really struggled against the press.
How much of a shot in the arm was it having to do back out there, especially on the defensive end?
Yeah, he's great, right? I mean, I said this on my radio show. He's not a stat sheet stuffer, but so you can't ever look at a stat sheet and understand his value. But his value, possession in, possession out, is as good as anybody on our roster. And he just means so much to our team. And it was interesting to watch those 2 big boys battle tonight. Those are 2 really good front court players, and it was interesting to see them go back and forth against each other. If I was a fan, I'd have really enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it when he was scoring on Duel, but Duel made some good plays down the stretch to cover the rim for us and make guys miss some big-time plays covering the rim.
Duel was a little more aggressive offensively. Odie's found some success in that pick and roll with Dave. Has that been a focus to try and work those post players on offense more in practice?
Oh yeah. I mean, we've been working really hard at finishing, at our post-up game, at our decision-making. Those guys, I thought Odie made some great plays tonight. You know, I thought the play in the pocket where he shoots it over the top, you know, the catch and finish that he has around the basket when we had a short clock out of bounds under. I thought he was phenomenal at times tonight, you know, and gave us some good energy, and I thought his ball screen coverage was much improved from a couple nights ago.
2 more questions?
John, is he okay? Look like he
Yeah, rolled the ankle.
ankle
You know,
again.
my guess is that'll be a while, you know, and which obviously I'm down about that, you know, because that's the best he's played this year, and it's like Duel, man. He's so important to what we do, possession in, possession out. But we've been next man up all year. We do try to play a lot of guys every night. I think you guys have noticed that, and you do that for moments like this. You know, the guys are gonna have to step up and play more minutes now.
You mean a while in terms of being out a while or just dealing with it?
Both probably. You know, you never know the night it happens, but he was struggling to walk on it after the game. So you know, and it's probably swelling up on him pretty good. You know, so I've been around this a long time. Ankle sprains, when you can't walk, that's not a very good sign. The guys don't usually wake up the next morning and feel better. But we missed Duel, I think, for about a week. We tried to play him in Tulsa. Looking back on it, it was probably the wrong decision. I'm not a Monday morning quarterback type of guy, but you know, we probably needed to wait a week for Duel, and he looked like himself tonight. And let's hope John's quicker than that, but if he's not, we'll be prepared because we got a lot of guys that'll be ready to play.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Was it on the dunk or was it chasing the ball?
He said it was on the dunk. He said he came down on it. Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.